I'm Sam, and this is Amazing Travels. Week 6, we finished off our trip of Ireland in Dublin, which I hadn't been to in about 10 years or so. So it was nice to kind of get reconnected with the city because honestly, for some reason, I couldn't remember anything but the pubs. And that's probably because the last time I was there was for St. Patrick's Day, on St. Patrick's Day, which isn't really an Irish holiday, but people celebrate it like it is. Like a lot of Americans that go, or just, you know, the Irish, because it's like, why not? You know, people are here drinking, so why don't we? Anyway, this experience was different because I actually got to do a free walking tour to learn a little bit about the city, and that was actually awesome. You're gonna see that our tour guide looked like literally a copycat doppelganger of Ryan Gosling. And he was also an actor, so I'm like, that's gotta be kind of hard. You look like an actor and you're an actor. Anyway, he was a good tour guide though. Learned a lot about the city of Dublin. After knocking back a few pints at Ireland's supposedly oldest pub, the Brazen Head, Dita, Stephen, and I departed, and that led me to go to Glastonbury, which is in England. It's a very special town. Special is like not the real word I'm looking for. It's like magical in its own way, like witchcraft and wizardy and like famous spiritual fountains kind of way. A very good friend of mine, Megan, lives there with her husband Marcus, who's also super cool, and they both gave me kind of like a tour around the city. I had been there before for their wedding, but I really got to dive in to all the magicalness and essence of it this time. So you know what it's time for? Check all this out here in the Week in Review. We're in Dublin in the Temple Bar area. Right now everything is quiet and closed because, well, it's daytime. In the night, expect debauchery unending through the winding streets. Am I right?
Yeah.
Especially if this one's around. That was not a denial.
That was no denial.
There's the Halfpenny Bridge. Used to cost half a penny to get across. First pedestrian bridge in Dublin. We're sheltering ourselves from the rain. Dita's soaked. She didn't buy a proper hood jacket. Stephen can't deal with it anymore. He's over it.
Forgets the scarf. She's coughing her lungs up and like sick as a dog. And she's walking around with a fucking open coat on and just a sweater underneath.
He's dying.
No scarf, no hat. Even with pouring rain. She's like, oh my god.
She's like, I should have brought an umbrella when Sam bought one. Yep. Here's a portion of Dublin's old city wall. Some of it dates back to like the 1100s. There aren't much walls left, but that is one of them. This is Christ Church. Enough of the history lesson, Sam. Take me to Guinness. You can literally smell the malt brewing as you approach the Storehouse. It's incredible. Oof. Time for beer. Malt, barley, and horse poop in the air? Just kidding. This is the 9,000-year lease signed by Arthur Guinness in 1759. The man was so sure his product would be amazing that he signed a 9,000-year lease with the city of Dublin, and you can learn all about this and all about Guinness at the Guinness Storehouse. It's actually super interesting. I really like this part. These were the coopers, the ones who made the barrels or the casks. Oh, and this room was amazing. You could smell each part of like the barley in each of those things. And then you got to taste it. Taste the aroma. All right, Steve, let's see it. The masterful. Stop, Sam. Oh. If you're going to the Guinness Storehouse, make sure you get the tour where you're pouring your own pint, because honestly, that's the coolest part. Dita, not bad.
All right, bottom of the heart.
Straight it up, no straight across,
Yeah, straight top of the heart.
Yeah. Top, off.
We're getting a little coaching from our guide, Brian, but I think Stephen did a pretty decent job, don't you? This is for people of a certain height, I feel.
The small one down there, if you want to reach it.
I think you're okay, Sam.
Legit though, those taps are built for like people that are, I don't know, bartenders 6'5". Like, look at that thing.
Nice job. Wonderful, guys.
It's a beautiful beer. Now you have to let the Guinness rest before topping it off. Ooh, just
a little more.
Just a tiny spill. Back for black, here we go. Yep, back for black, Sam. Back for black is what you do to the tap to finish her off.
2.5 beauty glass points.
Really?
That's mine.
He went over. Oh, I thought it was me.
No, man, you're the perfect Barbara.
Wow. And as we sat to drink our poured Guinness, we got a free pint of freshly poured.
It's not my first time. This happens to me on occasion.
A gentleman comes up to us who works here. He's like, I've got a free pint there that's going to be thrown down the drain. Do you want it? The answer, we were like, we haven't eaten lunch, but you know what? Yeah, what a chore. We drank many a pint, so where better to have Guinness beef stew than at the Guinness Storehouse, right? Then we drank another Guinness at the Gravity Bar, had a nice view over Dublin, and out.
I think I bought the much cooler outfit, to be honest.
I found it for him. I found it. That's the one I wanted.
Yeah, so there's that.
I ended up with this super retro ski jacket, which honestly, I'm in love with. Now, the Brazen Head, the oldest pub in Dublin I was telling you about. I've actually been here before, but this time I was coherent. Oldest pub in Ireland. How you guys feel?
Okay. I guess that's an emotion.
This is the Dublin Spire. It has many nicknames thanks to locals like Stiffy on the Liffey. The GPO General Post Office or Rebels headquarters in the 1916 uprising. Trinity College, according to our tour guide, this constantly ranks among the top universities in Ireland. And then we got to the Temple Bar area, which for you guys that don't know, do not be fooled. The Temple Bar, called Temple Bar, is not the actual Temple Bar. It's just an area you can go to. Now, this is Christ Church Cathedral. It was founded in the year 1030, and it is one of the 2 oldest cathedrals in the city. I love this little bridgey part in the center you can walk over. This is Dublin Castle. Most of the architecture and buildings date back to the 1700s, but there has been a castle here since about the 1100s, 1200s. And that is our tour guide. Doesn't he look like Ryan Gosling? I mean, look closer. What the hell? Here we are in the Liberties. Arthur Guinness built a lot of these buildings here for his workers. The family said Dublin gave us a lot, so we must give back to Dublin. And here's the second of the 2 oldest cathedrals, St. Patrick's Cathedral. We did get to go inside this one. All right, guys, Paris had the thickest pigeons I've ever seen, and Dublin has the thickest seagulls. I'm like scared to get close. He's looking at me. He's looking at me. This is the site where they claim St. Patrick would baptize people. Pretty emblem heading into the cathedral now, and it is grand. Look at those arches, that architecture, and I really liked these tile floors. This is the stone that covered St. Patrick's Well. Dan O'Connell there, King Dan. Oh, and a bus. Super important dude, known as the Liberator. He mobilized the Irish and secured Catholic emancipation in 1829. Moore Street, one of the oldest streets in Dublin. Our tour guide told us that these little blue fruit and veg stands used to be passed down from generation to generation of women, and now they're kind of falling by the wayside because we're studying. We're moving on up, ladies, just like they did here at the Rotunda Hospital, which is the world's oldest running maternity hospital. Part of Remembrance is to remember those who gave their lives in the fight for Irish freedom. It is very serene. You can find it on Parnell Square. Now off to some more boozy fun. The Irish Whiskey Museum, which was recommended by Stephen because you taste more than just Jameson at the Jameson Museum. So they take you through different rooms, which I think they did a pretty cool job of kind of showing you the history through this. And then at the end, you get to taste a bunch of Irish whiskey. Not bad. Okay, I got 2 sunny days in Dublin. Look at this day. I mean, that never happens. And now I am off to England. Right. I don't know if you guys recognize these people, but if you don't, get a life. Maybe that was harsh. It's Megan and Marcus, though. They took me to the Glastonbury Abbey, which was founded in the 8th century, and what remains is whatever's left after King Henry VIII set fire to it because he was mad at the Catholic Church. What? Oh, hey, say, you're such a cutie dog, aren't you? Look at them. They look like gators. You could feed those fish human bodies and they'd still be hungry. This is the site of King Arthur and Guinevere's burial. They are supposedly buried right here in Glastonbury Abbey, and many people make the trek to come visit their grave. Now it's out for a night on the town for me and Megan. The George and Pilgrim, one of the oldest hotels in England.
And most haunted.
And most haunted? Not because we're in here, right? We're just looking into our future. Just ignore Megan. We can't. Details TBD.
Yeah.
We cannot reveal what we were doing on the internet, but here's a cool view at the pub. I mean, it's like 600 years old. Megan, we just got kicked out.
Take this dinner at 8:30. That's hot, though.
All the
Waiting to happen.
yeah, all the real people eat at 5:30.
All the cool people get fights.
Someone wanted our table. It's fine. We're at the King William bar now, and it was poppin'. Megan was hiding, but then the band got to rockin', and honestly, we jammed. Marcus is out here being my tour guide, Marcus and Zay. St. Margaret's Chapel, if you're not looking for it, you'll probably miss it, but this puppy has 750 years of history. Look at the size of that door, Marcus. I fit, though.
It's made for you.
Maybe it was made for me. I mean, honestly, the size of this apartment is not that bad. Here's the facade of the George and Pilgrim, the first bar Megan and I were at the other night. Walking up the high street, we find St. John's Church, which is a Grade 1 listed building, and now we're in the moon shops. Some of these sell ingredients to make potions, and the vibe in there is like, well, just listen. And it smells of like incense everywhere for obvious reasons, like a lot of these shops burn incense. And this is the kind of cutesy, magical, like, vibe right here that you get. And then there's other churches. So there's like traditional churches and then all these like pagan worshiping shops. And this is the tour. Looks like I already can't breathe. Looks like I have quite a hill to climb. Lego. Aw, it just started raining. The steps of the tour are worth it because there are a lot of enduring mythological and spiritual associations with it. It is so windy up here. The wind can hold my body weight if I go like lean into it. Oh my god. Basically, this hill used to have way more structures on it, like a church and all that, and what was left was the tour. That's why it's all like mystical and enchanting. And on a clear day, you can see up to 4 different counties from its height. It's very unusual for the area to have this tall of a hill. Adds to the magic for sure. And then in Glastonbury, you can do a few of your self-guided walking tours. One of them is the mural one, which I thought was pretty cool. On to the wells. This is the Chalice well, aka the Red Spring, and it's believed to have healing properties. Evidence suggests that this well has been in continuous use for at least 2,000 years, which is absolutely insane. So, I mean, let's try the water. Let's do it. Tastes like blood. Yeah, it tastes like blood. This, right across the street from the Chalice well, is the White Spring. You're not allowed to film in there because it is a temple that is filled with candles, and many people bathe nude in the spring, in the water. So I don't recommend drinking this one, but people do fill their jugs up. Another windy day at the Glastonbury tour, and then now we have Knight's Fish and Chips. Same family has been running this fish and chips place since 1909. It was delicious. If you're having fun with my videos, please like, share, comment, all those fun things. And remember, stay tuned because next Monday, I have another episode of Some Amazing Travels just waiting for you. Have a great week, guys.